Now at 5:30, we're coming up on the 10-year anniversary of the crash of Calm Air Flight 5191. More on what's being done in honor of the crash victims ahead.
Also on WKYT this morning, today, a Fayette County judge will sentence a man guilty of manslaughter. More on what is expected in that sentencing, what the judge will be considering.
And some Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurants in the state are getting a lot of attention. We'll tell you why ahead on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
It's Friday. Good morning. Welcome in to WKYT This Morning. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Andrea Walker. You know, when you say it's Friday, you just get in a good mood.
Exactly.
Can't help it.
Weekend's on the way. Hopefully you have some time to enjoy. And it's going to be a hot one. No doubt about that.
It's going to be warm and sticky, especially for this football Friday night. Let's check in with Jim Caldwell for an update.
Yeah, we're going to be dealing with the heat issues. No showers or thunderstorms for most of us. Only a very small chance. But it's all about that summer surge sticking around here. Heat index numbers are going to increase, guys, over the next few days, and we'll keep the scattered thunderstorms alive. Right now, upper 60s, low 70s, more low 70s than anything else, really. It's 70 in Lexington, and you got 71 down the road along I-75 into London, so plenty of sticky hanging around with us this morning. As we progress through the daytime hours today, we'll probably run into an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Highs around 91. Throw in the humidity, and it's going to feel more like maybe 98, 99, maybe 100 in some cases out there today. Plenty of humidity to go around. We will track it, and we're going to keep tracking it, unfortunately. I like to track it out of here, but we're not going to. We'll break it down coming up for you in just a few minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be here a while. Jim, thank you very much, and let's get to the news.
The 10-year anniversary of the tragic Calm Air Flight 5191 crash is tomorrow.
49 people died when the plane crashed trying to take off from the wrong runway out at Bluegrass Airport. Tomorrow there will be a special ceremony to honor the victims. Our Michelle Chamberlain is live now with details. Michelle?
Yes, and that ceremony will take place at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning here at the Arboretum. The memorial will take place near the Flight 5191 sculpture of birds. Each bird, 49 birds representing a life lost that morning, August 27th, 2006. Now 300 family members and friends of those who died in the crash are expected to attend the service. Lexington Mayor Jim Gray, University of Kentucky President Eli Capilouto, and Deborah Hersman, former chairperson of the National Transportation Safety Board, are planning to be here. Hersman was the lead investigator when the plane crashed. Lexington was not her home, but she said at the time she felt the sense of community and compassion.
Lexington just opened their arms to every single one of us and took us in and treated us like family.
Now, the community can come together once again here tomorrow morning for that memorial. You are more than welcome to attend. The service starts at 10 a.m. Now, if you do come, you're asked to bring your own lawn chair. There will be parking available at the lots at Commonwealth, and there will also be a free shuttle from LexTran. Live in Lexington, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
Michelle, thank you. Here's some background on the tragedy of Flight 5191. It was on a Sunday morning in 2006. It left Bluegrass Airport for Atlanta at 6:07 a.m. A year later, the National Transportation Safety Board ruled the crash was caused by pilot error. And then in 2009, Bluegrass Airport replaced the runway that was used. We'll have live coverage of the memorial service tomorrow here on WKYT. It begins at 10 a.m. You can also watch a live stream of the service at WKYT.com.
Today, a Fayette County judge will sentence a man who was found guilty of manslaughter.
Police originally had charged Matthew Donahue with murder in the stabbing death of his boyfriend. WKYT's Mike Byer is live with more on what can be expected at today's sentencing. Mike?
Good morning, Bill. Later today, Fayette County judge will determine how many years Matthew Donahue spends behind bars. Last month, a jury found the 22-year-old guilty of manslaughter in the stabbing death of his boyfriend, 40-year-old Todd Shoemaker. Donahue had been charged with murder. Police say Donahue stabbed Shoemaker in January of last year at the couple's home after a fight. Police think Shoemaker was stabbed up to 70 times. Donahue testified that he was acting in self-defense, saying Schumacher had beaten and choked him first. The jury recommends Donahue serves at least a 10-year sentence, which is the maximum punishment for manslaughter. Now, a judge will have that final say later today when Donahue is sentenced here at the Fayette County District Court. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Mike, thank you very much. Police warn a batch of heroin, even more dangerous and deadly than usual, is making its way through central Kentucky. Yesterday morning, we told you about 12 heroin overdoses in a 5-hour span in Montgomery County. Donald Hyatt says his brother was one of those 12 and had to be revived twice on the way to the hospital. Hyatt says he didn't even know his brother was addicted to heroin, but after what happened, he's urging people to get help.
I want my real brother back. I want to see him clean his life up and get his life together. There's no need for drugs, guys. There's always help out there. There's always opportunities. Take it. I just want to have my other brother back that went fishing and stuff with me, not high on all this crap.
Yesterday morning, Montgomery EMS said one of the 12 people who overdosed had died. First responders say they've seen a surge of overdoses, not just in Mount Sterling, but across the region. In Hamilton County, Ohio, which includes Cincinnati, first responders say they were called to nearly 80 overdoses on Tuesday and Wednesday alone. Tomorrow, a local advocacy group will be hosting an event promoting overdose prevention. Voices of Hope, Lexington's 4th annual event, will be held at Jacobson Park. There will be a memorial wall in tribute of lost loved ones, as well as motivational speakers. Volunteers will also provide overdose response training and distribute naloxone kits. The event is free and open to the public. It's from 10 to 12:45 at Jacobson Park, shelter number 6.
Police are still looking for a Bath County man who they say killed his wife. They say Christopher White shot his wife Judith Wednesday at a home near Owingsville. Friends say Judith was a hard worker and helped anyone who needed it. And now they're trying to help her son. 2 Owingsville businesses, the Scissor Sisters Salon and Sherry's Pizza House, are teaming up to raise money for his education. Friends say Judith was very proud of him.
Because she was such a good person, and I pray for her boy because I couldn't imagine how he's feeling.
Police say Christopher White was last seen driving a white 2015 Jeep Patriot with a Kentucky license plate. A Bourbon County middle school teacher has been charged with inappropriately touching students. Bourbon County deputies charged Rick Massey with 9 counts of harassment with physical contact. They say one student claimed Massey kissed her on the forehead multiple times, and they say a second student claimed Massey touched her inappropriately. Court documents say Massey admitted to some of the accusations, but claimed he was only offering religious and emotional support. The school district says it is aware of the claims and can't comment on pending legal matters. Well, this morning, rescue operations are continuing in central Italy, but the effort is being complicated by hundreds of powerful aftershocks. It's making the affected areas even more unstable.
The U.S. Geological Survey says another quake struck near the hard-hit city of Amatrice just as the sun came up there today. Jonathan Vigliotti has the latest.
Rescue teams in central Italy pressed on for a 3rd day, still trying to find people trapped underneath the rubble. Drone footage taken above the hard-hit town of Amatrice shows the extent of the destruction. Homes without roofs, others barely left standing. This woman was moved to tears as she waited for news of her missing parents. After hours of searching, rescue teams finally pulled their bodies from the rubble of their home. Francesco was left in complete shock after seeing the damage to his house yesterday. Having already lost many friends, he now has no home to return to.
There isn't a house. I don't have a house here.
Hundreds of powerful aftershocks have left towns here even more unstable, and that's created chaos for rescuers trying to get to the scene. Yesterday, a strong 4.3 tremor in Amatrice stirred up dust and fear. Speaking in Rome, Italy's prime minister brushed off criticism the country could have done more to make buildings in the region quake-proof. Instead, he announced a multi-million-dollar effort to rebuild. Nations around the world are now standing in solidarity with the people of Italy, lighting up landmarks like the statue of Christ the Redeemer in Rio and the spire of One World Trade in the color of Italy's flag. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, Amatrice, Italy.
Italy's government has also canceled taxes for residents affected by the quake.
Police in Brazil have charged American swimmer Ryan Lochte with filing a false robbery report. During the Rio Olympics, Lochte claimed that he and 3 other American swimmers were robbed at gunpoint by men posing as police. But police say security video suggested the four actually ran into security guards after vandalizing a gas station restroom. Lochte later admitted he was drunk and his behavior led to the confrontation. Under Brazilian law, falsely filing a crime report can carry up to 18 months in prison. Lochte had no comment on this last night.
Today, Christian Student Fellowship will be hosting its annual World's Largest Water Balloon Fight. It's such a fun event. This year, they plan to have 1 million water balloons, having broken the record already 3 times. The event is open to all UK and BCTC students who have an official University of Kentucky ID. It will be at 9 tonight at the Johnson Center Fields on UK's campus. And tonight you can enjoy live music as a part of Lakeside Live, no college ID required. It starts at 6 at the Lexington Green and lasts until 9. Tonight, Jordan English will perform. Tomorrow, it will be Corey Hunt.
Sounds like a good time out there, you know.
I went by it one time. It was so packed. It looked like people were having a really good time.
Well, you know, a little lake there makes you feel a little cooler anyway as well, right?
Well, it's still hot. You might want to jump in.
True.
New on WKYT this morning, some KFCs in eastern Kentucky are getting a lot of attention, all because of a sign.
Franchise owner Doug Knipp has a sign posted up saying, "All uniformed police officers eat free every day, all day."
Wow.
The Ashland police chief says it's a kind gesture, and he hopes it will improve community police relations.
Our ability to get out and work with the community and them work with us, it's a two-way street. And we're very appreciative that he's taken the initiative, the first big step in partnering with us.
Knipp owns 9 restaurants in Kentucky and 1 in West Virginia, as well as 1 in Ohio. He says he's implementing this policy in all of them. So it's a great outreach there to the police who do so much good work protecting us.
They deserve it, yeah.
Time to check live drive traffic this morning. 5:42 is your time. And we'll take a look right now at the region on our current traffic map.
Looks like a lot of green on the screen, which is always a nice thing to see on your Friday morning.
We will figure out there's one
There's
issue
one
that
little
looks like
spot
there on 27. Yeah, we'll check that out for you very quickly. But here's a look at the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government live drive cam at Richmond Road and Mount Tabor. And it's pretty quiet there.
Yeah.
Get in while you can, right?
That's right.
A lot of folks want to get in there and get it done on Friday and get to their weekend.
Get out. There you go.
A lot more news is coming up on WKYT this morning, and it's so good to have you with us.
Still to come, he's the prized hog of one Texas police department, and he's boring his way to the community's hearts. We'll find out why this police piggy is so special after Jim's forecast.
And we are going to be tracking more heat and humidity out there today with an isolated shower or thunderstorm, but don't count on that to cool you down because we have very small chances. We'll track all of it coming up.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
It is a sticky morning out there, folks. The temperature's running in the upper 60s, low 70s, and the humidity levels are certainly up there for you. And we'll keep the humidity going not only this morning, but through the daytime hours today. We catch very little relief over the next 7 days, really. It's going to hang around with us. Our heat index forecast. This is the number that's most important because that's what it's going to feel like when you walk outside. This is what you're going to be exposed to when it all comes together. Now, the hour-by-hour run takes us into the afternoon and evening. You see mid-90s, maybe even some upper 90s out there as well for heat index values. Let's go beyond that. Let's go into tomorrow, and then you find more of those upper 90s and maybe even some triple digits trying to leak into the area. So a little more heat and humidity with a kick to it trying to show up across most of Kentucky as we head into your Saturday. Plenty of heat and humidity joining forces out there. Defender Radar Network is a quiet one on this Friday morning. No showers, thunderstorms in Kentucky. Strong and severe weather continues last night across parts of Indiana, Ohio. It's a little calm out there this morning, but they still have some showers and storms along a frontal boundary, one that you would really like to drop in on us, clean things up, at least try to clean things up. But it's not going to happen. What will eventually be the case will be a warm front. This will make a transition back, and all it does is move back to the north. Then it becomes a warm front. That's simple setup, and when that happens, it just brings in more humidity. I can take you through the next little bit and show you exactly how that plays out here with the warm front lifting back into the Great Lakes, taking some showers and thunderstorms with it again as we go into Saturday. More organized stuff there. Then we get into Saturday afternoon. Isolated stuff around here. Very hit and miss in nature. We go on into your Sunday, and that's when we're going to find a better chance of showers and thunderstorms, especially into the afternoon and evening. Something we're going to be watching over the next little bit, some tropical weather that may impact us toward the end of next week and into next weekend, which of course is Labor Day weekend, might be around here, which would increase our rain chances, maybe just change up things completely. It's something we'll be watching very closely, guys, as we head through the next 7 days. But one thing for sure, over the next 3 days, a lot of heat and humidity coming at us here.
See that, yeah. All right.
We'll be able to beat it, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Jim.
All right, now a Texas Towns Police Department is hoping a special partner will help them get some much-needed equipment.
Police pig, yeah, there we said it,
That's
a pig,
right.
Darby O'Driscoll is a ham for the cameras. He's also helping the Fritch Police Department raise money for a new cruiser. Officers are raffling off chances to co-star in Police Piggy's first book. But they say Darby has a more important role to the squad. He helps teach children, even some adults, to not be afraid of police officers.
You know, children and adults both it's like they forget that I'm a police officer. And honestly, there's people that wouldn't normally talk to us, but they see Darby and it all just kind of goes out the window.
Very good, Darby. And don't worry, the police department doesn't have any plans to lose their prized hog. The police chief did promise if the department could raise $10,000, Darby would officially be sworn in as a Fritch police officer.
Now you better watch it. She'll run for sheriff one day and beat everybody with that little hat.
Exactly. I mean, and now that,
so
you know,
cute. They got a dog mare.
Yep. That's right. That was earlier in the week.
That's right.
Running
that's
for
right.
re-election. But now this pig, it gets national attention, so there might be some people chip in on that $10,000.
Something to it.
Yeah.
Coming up, you'll get the stories making news at this hour.
Also, we'll have a look at any traffic situations that we know of this morning. We'll update you on that, some health news and more. It's so good to have you with us here on WKYT This Morning. Good morning. Welcome back in. WKYT This Morning on the air. Our time is 5:53 on your Friday.
August 26th. We are moving right along. Let's take a look at some of the stories we're working on for you at this hour.
Today, a Fayette County judge will be sentencing a man found guilty of manslaughter in the stabbing death of his boyfriend. Police originally had charged Matthew Donahue with murder in the death of Todd Schumacher, but last month, after 7 hours of deliberation, a jury found him guilty of manslaughter instead.
Tomorrow marks the 10-year anniversary of the Comair Flight 5191 crash. 49 people died when the plane crashed trying to take off from the wrong runway. The memorial service will be held at 10 tomorrow morning at the UK Arboretum.
And some KFCs in eastern Kentucky are getting a lot of attention. The franchise owner, Doug Nip, has a sign posted at his store saying, "All uniformed police officers eat free every day, all day." Nip owns 9 restaurants in Kentucky, as well as 1 in Virginia and 1 in Ohio. He says he is implementing this policy in all of them. So a good move by him there, certainly.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Topping your national headlines this morning, rescue operations continue in central Italy following a devastating earthquake.
Rescue efforts have been complicated, though. That part of the country has felt hundreds of powerful aftershocks, making the affected areas even more unstable. Hundreds of people died when the magnitude 6.2 quake hit, and many more are missing or injured.
The 2016 presidential candidates are trading jabs over racism less than 80 days to the election. At an event in Nevada yesterday, Hillary Clinton accused Donald Trump of ushering hate into the mainstream. The Republican nominee has been courting minority voters in recent days and calls Clinton a bigot.
France's Supreme Court is set to rule today on a controversial burkini ban imposed in some parts of the country. The burkini is a full-body swimsuit worn by Muslim women. Opponents of the ban say it is a violation of religious freedom, while supporters say the garment can scare beachgoers worried about terrorism.
Now let's get a check this hour on today's traffic trouble spots with live drive traffic.
See what's going on out there. Here is a look at the current travel times. First, the map of the region. As you can see, we will zoom right up here, and you see that there is a restricted flow. That is a problem on US 27 Nicholasville Road. The left turn lane is blocked at Man o' War Boulevard, so that's an issue. We were talking about that is the site of the new Summit development that is going on. But right now, again, an issue at Man o' War and Nicholasville Gainesville Road this morning. Restricted flow. We'll keep on top of that.
And now let's take a look at the Lexington-Fayette-Urban County Government's live drive cam at Richmond Road and Mount Tabor. Not a car in sight. Well, there comes one. All right.
Yeah.
Everything's looking very clear there.
Now, they are going to be doing some rolling pothole repairs along Richmond Road today. That'll be 8:30 till 3:30, so everybody keep that one in mind.
Build in a few extra minutes if you plan on being at Richmond Road.
Give them some room there to get done what they're trying to get done. 5:56, our time this morning.
All right, let's check in with Jim Caldwell to see an update of our forecast on this Friday.
Guys, sticky, hot, steamy, same old, really, today, as we likely see our heat index jump into the mid and upper 90s out there this afternoon, this evening. So, again, a little more intense heat trying to show up. Tomorrow gets even worse as we'll be running closer to 100 degrees with our heat index. And then our 7-day shows you no relief. Upper 80s, low 90s across the board. Hey, we're so glad you're along with us here on WKYT this morning.